So let's talk about um, let's get this going with some why are we so inflamed? Why are we so exhausted? What's happening with autoimmunity and why does that make us so tired? So it's a great question. I mean, a lot of my autoimmune patients are pretty exhausted. So they're just not feeling like themselves. They feel worn out. They feel exhausted to the bone. And it's not just tired. It's like they really are having a hard time like actually functioning in the world. So I'm not sure if you're having that experience or if that's something that fits your description. And it doesn't seem to matter what the issue is. That doesn't seem to matter if it's Hashimoto's or if it's rheumatoid arthritis or if it's an ANA marker. It seems like it's a universal truth that the immune system is doing some pretty busy things and the immune system is really attacking us and it's making us super exhausted. So we need to kind of think about how much energy we actually have in our body, how much energy is actually available, and that's the energy that we make in from our mitochondria in our body. We generate ATP, we generate energy. And so if your immune system is diving into attacking you and is really dominating that energy and is really utilizing a lot of the body's energy, you're not getting much. You're just getting the exhausted part, right? So, what could be driving that, and what is the mechanism behind that? So, I know a lot of my patients are trying, like, they're getting IVs of NAD plus, or they're getting NMN, or something to drive energy into the mitochondria, which is sometimes helpful. But also, what's driving that inflammation and how do we tamp that down? How do we get to the bottom of what that is, right? We want to look at what is driving the inflammation in the body. So if you have blood sugar issues, high blood sugar, spiking blood sugar, crashing blood sugar, prediabetes, diabetes, all of those are a huge drain on the energy of the body. It drives inflammation and it drives us to feel exhausted. Hey, Kirsty, nice to see you. I haven't been on for like a week. I've just been snowed over with stuff. So glad you're here. So I feel like so many of my patients are just so crazy exhausted. They're so tired. And it's not just a tired, it's like out of their mind tired, like they can't even hardly function. So I'm not sure if that is your experience, but we need to think about our energy kind of like a big giant pie, right? There's a big pie and different parts of our body take slices to run. The liver takes some, the heart takes some, the brain takes some. There's also we're delivering pie to all the different parts of our body. And what is left over for us? What's left over to have us feel good? I feel like what happens is that the immune system is taking a really big slice. Immune system is like, listen, I'm going to take a bunch of this pie because I'm going to attack my own joints now. Not helpful. Not helpful with our energy, not helpful with us feeling in pain. So we need to think about, like, what can we do to calm down this inflammation? What can we do to generate more energy in our mitochondria? Now, remember, like, when we were in biology, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this, but like we're looking at the mitochondria and how much energy or ATP that comes out of the mitochondria. That's the energy that we feel in our body. So how much of that are you making, right? And how much is it going out to areas you're distributing it around, right, to other places? So it makes you exhausted. If you are inflamed and your immune system is like, listen, I'm going to attack my own thyroid, I'm going to attack my own tissue, I'm going to attack my own joints, that takes a lot of energy. So you're sending all this hard fought energy to the immune system where it's like, and I'm going to use it to attack you. Like, it just seems like, wow, what are we doing here? Right? How do we turn this around? So that's what we're working on. Like, how do we turn this around? How do we calm this down so you can get your energy back? New says ANA titer of 1 in 2560. Should I be worried? So, what I would ask that New, I would ask you what the pattern is. Do you know what the pattern is? It'd be interesting to know if it's one thing if you feel like, it's like dense fine speckled is one thing, or if you don't have any symptoms. If it's homogeneous or speckled and you have a bunch of symptoms, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean that things are pretty active, right? And things are happening. Your immune system is doing something. Coffee is life. Love it. I feel like I have MS, but my MRI is normal. Would a spine MRI show it? Maybe. This might actually be in your nerves. I wonder. See, they're looking for, like, if you feel like you have MS, you might be having nerve pain or body pain or maybe electric shock feelings or numbness or something strange going on with your nerves, right? So the thing is that it comes from your brain into your spinal cord into the nerves. So maybe it's from the spinal cord into the nerves. You could have demyelination in those nerves. You could have problems with those nerves. There's a lot of autoimmune things that could be in your nerves and not necessarily in your brain. So yeah, it's possible it could come back in your spine. I wonder if you could get somebody to take a look at that. Yeah. Been a lot of years. Yep, Patty, same, right? It's exhausting to have a lot of autoimmunity happening. And Renee just got her test results back. She's so worried. So how are we doing with what's going on, Renee, with your tests? You got an ANA positive, you got some inflammation, you got something going on. Okay, Moon Gazer wants to know what the best anti-inflammatory is besides ibuprofen. One thing I want to think about, I want to kind of like back you up one step, is why are you inflamed is my question. Like, what is inflamed, right? It's different if you sprain your ankle and you have an inflammation in your ankle, there's a reason why it's there, right? If you're generally inflamed all over and we have to go, okay, well, why? Number one reason people are inflamed is their blood sugar gets too high. If you have prediabetes or diabetes, that's driving up blood sugar, and then the insulin goes up, and then the inflammation also goes up. So that's one area that we're just driving inflammation in just because our blood sugar spikes too high. Not having enough vitamin D can drive inflammation. Thinking about, like, if you had something like, if you have an active autoimmune condition happening, it can cause inflammation, just, attacking your joints, attacking your tissue, attacking your thyroid. That can drive inflammation, right? So things to think about for solutions around that is first get to the core of what it is. Start solving for the blood sugar, start stabilizing your blood sugar, but also best anti-inflammatories right now. Turmeric. If you can do even a liquid turmeric, I love Turmero by Apex. It's a liquid turmeric that tastes like orange creamsicle. Amazing. Resveratrol is a really good one. Fish oils are amazing for inflammation, but also there's a really specific fish oil that's called SPM. It's called Pro-Resolving Mediators. Let me find out. I'm just going to actually look it up really quick because I need to remember what that's called. There's one. It actually resolves inflammation really, really fast. There's a bunch of companies that have this. And hold on a second. Okay. The one I really like is by Designs for Health. And it has fish oils, but these specific fish oils are called pro-resolving mediators. Wild, but okay. It helps to resolve inflammation, right? It helps to drive that out, especially if it's just coming, if you're like, hey, my blood sugar's fine. I've not been exposed to anything toxic. I live a good lifestyle. I haven't eaten enough protein. I don't have diabetes, whatever. You could take some of these pro-resolving mediators. My favorite one is SPM Supreme by Designs for Health, but a lot of different companies are having them. And it's really lowering inflammation. Their joints are feeling better. Another thing to think about is, let's say you're super exhausted, okay? And you're like, your gas tank is on empty and you just don't have enough energy. You're like, oh my God, I'm just flat on the floor. I'm super exhausted. Your body starts inflammation to try to resolve something, okay? But you need energy out of your mitochondria. You need energy to resolve that inflammation. So you don't have enough energy to even function with your body. How can you resolve the inflammation? So sometimes I'll hack into the mitochondria. Mitochondria are the energy makers. They make the ATP, right? They're like in our cells. They're in all the cells. This is the energy that we feel in our body, okay? So that can be, you can take something that can push NAD+. I know this seems all weird stuff, right? But the NAD+ is like making the ATP. The ATP, just think about it like gas. ATP is like gas for our body. It just runs our body, gives us energy, right? But if you are super exhausted and you're not generating the energy to be able to resolve your inflammation, that's where you're stuck in the loop, right? I want to figure out, where are you stuck and how do we get you past that? And how do we get you moving? Okay. So taking something like NMN, or something called NR, which is nicotinamide riboside. Those are all NAD plus makers. They help you to make energy. If you want links, just DM me and I'm happy to send you a link, because there's full script and I can just send me your email and your name and I can just shoot you off a link if you want some. I don't want you guys spending a lot of money on supplements because they can be expensive, right? Okay, SPM what? So it's called, hold on a second. Let me just pop on that. Hold on a second. SPM Supreme. That's by Designs for Health. There's an SPM Active by Metagenics. There's an, what else? I'm just looking at, Thorne has one called Pro-Resolving Mediators. Life Extension has one called Pro-Resolving Mediators. There's one by Body Bio called Resolvin. There's one called Zymogen called Omega Pure PRM. Pro-resolving mediators. So you've probably not heard of this before, but it's a real specific form of fish oil that helps to resolve inflammation. So you can take omega-3s and fish oils and it can be helpful, but if you're going to take them, why don't you take something that's like Da Vinci has one called SPM Complete. It's like pro-resolving mediators. They are these things, they're just called, it's like, why wouldn't they just call it anti-inflammatory something? I don't know. But anyway, it's part of the fish oil. I can send you a link. It's fine. It's easy. It's easy to get the inflammation down with a fish oil. But make sure you're taking a good one that can help. Renee says 1 in 80 nuclear. Okay. So 1 in 80 nuclear, 1 in 80 is not too high, which is great. What we want to do is we want to overlap that with the symptoms and tell me what your symptoms are like and how, if that's concerning with your symptoms. Okay. Coffee is Life says, my spinal surgeon said to me yesterday, not all pain and stuff shows on MRI. He's correct. There's a lot of inflammation that can happen that causes these nerves to be like overactive. And it can cause the nerves to kind of like shoot off and be in pain. You can be in weird pain loops in your nerves and nothing will show up on an MRI. That's why it's really frustrating. So we kind of got to get into the weeds on this stuff. I feel like inflammation's a big deal. Moongazer, yep, pre-diabetic. Okay, so that's probably causing some of your inflammation and it can drive autoimmunity. So we want to think about like getting one of those blood sugar monitors, a Lingo or a Stello. Those are just not over the counter. You can order them online. Lingo, Stello. They're $49 a piece. They last for 2 weeks. Pop them on the back of your arm. They connect to your phone. You can watch your blood sugar 24/7 and you can figure out, oh, these foods are really spiking my blood sugar. How do I eat to keep my blood sugar rolling and steady? Proteins, veggies, fats, avocado, nuts, seeds, eggs, all those things keep you kind of rolling. Those are steady foods. They keep you steady. The spiky foods that are going to throw you up and throw you off and make you have like prediabetes, pastas, rice, breads, all the carby sugars, all those things, right? Frappuccinos, right? All the things that we love. So let's get some steady foods in, get your blood sugar steady. It'll calm down your autoimmunity. Y'all know that I have an autoimmune support group that if you feel like you want some support on figuring out how to do this stuff, I have videos that are explaining things. I'm on a group call on Zoom on Fridays for Q&A. I'm on there for an hour. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific. If anyone of you guys want to pop on, it's $50 a month. You have links to all the supplements. You have resources for labs if you want to get them. There's just, it's packed full of goodness in there. If you want support, just click on the link in my bio and you can just pop on and join us. We're all trying to figure it out. Okay. And it's just, I want you guys to be in a support group so we can figure this out. Coffee's Life says, I have eye and head pressure and whooshing sounds in my in your head, and then memory problems and balance problems. Okay. So I want you to balance out your blood sugar. I want you to not have prediabetes anymore. That's not an option for you. We can't have prediabetes. We need to just do a blood sugar monitor, fix the way you eat, more protein at the meals, more veggies at your meals, more fats at your meals. butter. And if you can, I don't know if you eat cheese, sometimes dairy is very triggery for autoimmune people. We can usually have to be off of gluten and dairy, but really getting like more fats and meats in your diet and more veggies. Veggies that live above the ground are better than veggies that live below the ground. The below the ground veggies tend to be starchy, potatoes and carrots and beets and things like that. Just like, let's pack you full of veggies. Let's pack you full of meats and fats and really see if we can get your blood sugar under control, because it sounds like your brain is not happy with the amount of blood sugar that's surging. And when your blood sugar surges, you can get pulsing in your head, you can get anxiety, you can get brain inflammation, you can get balance problems because your brain manages your balance. So that's something that's very fixable. Okay, we can work on that. Oh yeah, totally works. The SPM fish oils, it's wild. If you guys want a link, just tell me. I'll just send you a link, and then you can just purchase it off a full script by yourself. Kirsty, I've been having dizziness the last week, not sure why, and you're very tired. Okay, the question is it positional dizziness? Like if you put your head back and look up, does it make you dizzy? What about if you roll over in bed? Is it movement oriented, or is it just like I'm standing still and it feels like I'm dizzy? Because that help you. Let me help you try to figure that out. Oh, SPM what? Yes, pro-resolving mediators, SPM. They're good for inflammation. Claudia wants to know. So you can get look up fish oils SPM, and you'll find a billion of them. It might also be called pro-resolving mediators. They call it specialized pro-resolving mediators, SPM. Who names these things? I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's so silly. I need to be in charge of naming things from here on out, or maybe 12-year-olds do. They're better at this than adults. So let's get you guys on some of that. It's really, really, really good fish oils. Okay. I think I have plantar fasciitis. What do you recommend? Can you find somebody? Well, first of all, are your arches kind of flat? Are your arches dropped? You need to probably get arch supports in your shoes. Get into some good shoes that have some good arch supports, and then stretch your calves. And if you have someone around you that has a shockwave helps to break up scar tissue, and it's magical for plantar fasciitis. Shockwave. It's great. I need help for PCOS. Okay. So if you have, PCOS, blood sugar rises, insulin rises, inflammation rises. Okay. So it's all the blood sugar spikes. Too many blood sugar spikes, too many carbs that are spiking our blood sugar is creating PCOS. It causes us to gain weight in our belly. And in that belly fat, you're converting your estrogen into testosterone. And then your cycles are weird. And then you're not ovulating. And then it's just this loop, right? And then everything's off. So if you want to, you should get the blood sugar device. April, it's a blood sugar device. It's called, there's Lingo, Lingo, or Stello, Stelo. Lingo and Stello, they're by, Lingo's by Abbott and Stello's by Dexcom. They make diabetes blood sugar monitors, but they've made them for the general population. If you're just curious about your blood sugar, amazing tool, like game changer. Because you'll see that your blood sugar is spiking at times, and sometimes it's crashing, and then you'll be able to correlate, oh, that's why I get a pulsing headache, because my blood sugar is too high. Or I feel super terrible and exhausted and my blood sugar is crashing. So getting yourself kind of rolling in the middle is the way to go. If you want support, I have a nutritionist in my office that's super duper, and she does Zooms. If you look at her website, it's called crossintowellness.com. Cross Into Wellness. Her name is Lisa Cross. Crossintowellness.com. She does all the management of the blood sugar monitors. She gets people off of having prediabetes. She helps resolve PCOS. Magic, like magic sauce. So if you want her support, she's not crazy expensive either, and she's on Zoom. She's in my office in California. So you don't have to be in person. So that is helpful. Hi, Shy. Nice to see you. Does speckled pattern mean I have lupus? No. If you have a speckled pattern, sometimes it's Sjogren's, which is like dry eyes, dry mouth, and a lot of other little syndromes, joint pain, things like that. It means that we need to investigate a little further. Sometimes speckled means Hashimoto's. That's the thyroid inflammation, right? Where the immune system is attacking the thyroid. So That just means that you need to do more data, get more data. I want you to do a panel called an ENA panel, extractable nuclear antigens, ENA. So it tells you if you have lupus markers. Or you could do an ANA cascade that'll break down all the different tissues and see what tissues are positive so that we can gather a little bit more data, okay? Breezy Bree, diagnosed with Crohn's, but it's not Crohn's and had an active infection. Okay, so yeah, is it maybe diverticulitis? Is it maybe ulcerative colitis? Is it maybe something's going on there? So we want to figure out food triggers. We want to heal the gut lining because the gut is like owie, right? So we want to think about figuring out, do you have sensitivity to gluten or dairy? What about nightshades? What about nuts or seeds? Those can be tricky. Figuring out food triggers, and then we want to heal that gut lining. There's a great product called Repair Vite that's by Apex. It's got glutamine and it's got aloe vera and marshmallow root and slippery elm and all these things that are just sort of mucilagenic, and it really calms the gut lining down. It can heal the gut. If you need some help, let me know. MRI for bleeding between periods, 51, perimenopause. Why do I have cancer? Okay, so bleeding between periods, you are probably in perimenopause. You're probably having surges in your hormones that can cause you to have bleeding and not have bleeding. And then your cycle starts and then it stops. And then it might go away for 2 months and it might come back twice in a month. Certainly go get it checked out. They might do a little ultrasound. They're going to make sure that you don't have anything crazy going on. But that's very common in sort of this sort of perimenopause period where maybe you're not quite there. Maybe things are just kind of like sputtering to a stop and it can get a little chaotic. CCP negative, AB weak positive, IgA moderate positive, IgA strong positive. Okay, for the CCP weak, so I'm wondering if you have maybe you're loading up some rheumatoid arthritis. I don't know, CCP negative, but antibody weak positive, AGA moderate positive. I wonder, is that all under your CCP? I wonder, Shai, let me know. Oh, the blood glucose device is called, there's a Lingo and a Stelo. LINGO STELO. They're both different companies and they're both really good. So, yeah, gluten-free. A lot of people that have autoimmunity need to get off of gluten. Oh, the Dexcom one, sorry, Sarah, the Dexcom one is Stelo. The Abbott one is Lingo. Yes. Someone needs help with hyperthyroid Graves' disease, experiencing terrible indigestion, pain. Okay. Yes. So now remember, Graves is a hyperactivity of your thyroid. So your immune system's attacking your thyroid and it's releasing a ton of thyroid hormone and it's making you feel anxious. It can make your eyes bug out. It can make you have heart racing. It's pretty crazy. So we want to get that to be managed by a traditional medical doctor or an endocrinologist. But then we got to dig in the deep. We got to go, okay, why? What triggered this? Do I have gluten issues? Do I have dairy issues? Do I have leaky gut? Is my blood sugar spiking? I need to get on vitamin D. You got to get on vitamin D, period. You need to be on 5,000 IUs every single day. That just has to happen because you've got to get your vitamin D up. So, yes. So lots and lots of questions here. Hold on. I'm just trying to get, Kirsty with the dizziness. It's when I move my head to the side and my eyes, I get off balance and dizzy. Okay. So Kirsty, I want you to look up, I want you to do an Epley maneuver for yourself. Or you can, there's a PT or somebody that you know of that can do this, you can follow somebody on YouTube. I'm just looking it up right now. Hang on a second. Epley maneuver for vertigo at home. That's what you need. Oh, follow this guy. I'm going to spell this for you, Kirsty. I'm going to say this word and then you're going to have to kind of look it up on YouTube. It's Fauquier, E-N-T. Let me spell it to you. Fauquier. That's the first name. And then it says E-N-T. Look that up. And it says Epley maneuver to treat BPPV vertigo. If it's by movement of your head, you probably have a crystal that's a little dislodged in the inner ear in here, and it can get repositioned. So if you watch this video, you could follow it, and it might be able to clear it up. Okay, FAUQUIERENT. Look that guy up. I send that video to all my patients that have dizziness. I reposition it at my office, but if you're not in my office because you're not in California, that's something you just follow that. And maybe if you need some help, sometimes PTs know how to do this. Sometimes chiropractors know how to do this. It's just kind of hit and miss. You almost have to ask somebody if they know how to treat BPPV, which is a type of vertigo that has to do with the crystals in your inner ear. Let's check it out. Let's see, shy, ANA by IFA, titer pattern, positive, negative, borderline positive. Yeah. So nuclear overlap. Okay. So nuclear overlap. Let's talk about that. So all the different patterns, right? We're going to have different patterns that go with our ANA, right? So ANA can be different patterns. It can be speckled. It can be homogeneous. Nuclear overlap, there's a lot of different patterns that it's an ANA antibody. It's positive for something. I think yours is 1 in 80. Didn't you say that yours was 1 in 80? So it could be lupus. It could be what's called systemic sclerosis. It could be something called mixed connective tissue disease. We don't know for sure, right? There's more than one thing happening. So what we want to do is we want to go ahead and do a deeper pattern, like an ANA cascade, to kind of see what specific tissues could be involved so we know more. Amanda said, PCOS, walk 5 miles a day, and my symptoms literally went away. Yep. So we want to look at the blood sugar. We want to, and here's the thing, if you eat anything where your blood sugar is spiking, start walking, start moving your body, get that blood sugar down, right? Use up the fuel that you're consuming because that will cause your PCOS to go away. Okay. Yes. Good job. Good suggestion, Amanda. Coffee is lice. Oh yeah. Life. Okay. Why? Oh yes. Okay. So we're talking about the eye and the head pressure, the whooshing sound in your head, memory problems. I really want you to get your blood sugar steady. That's going to really, really help with all the brain issues, the symptoms you have. Jack says, that's why I'm tired after I eat. Right. If you eat and then you're really tired after you eat, what can happen, most likely you ate too many carbs at that meal. The blood sugar spikes and now the blood sugar comes down, but your body has to do something with all this extra sugar. It has to put it somewhere. So as it puts it into storage in your belly fat, in your liver, in your triglycerides, in your bloodstream, it's like, I got to use some energy to put all this fuel away. Why don't you go take a nap? I'll solve for this. And that's what's happening. So if you're tired after you eat, you need to eat a few less carbs. Okay. So let's work on that. Yes. Which one you say is, the Dexcom. Oh, sorry. I think I already answered this. It's the Stello is the Dexcom. Let's see. So we need to think about what foods could be triggering you with autoimmunity. The number 1 and number 2 are gluten and dairy. Everybody eats gluten. No one seems to get a free pass off of that one. Gluten, dairy, and then the top 5 are gluten, dairy, corn, soy, and egg. Doesn't mean that you're reacting to all of those, but it means that you could get off those 5 things for a couple weeks and then put one of them in at a time. How does it make you feel? Do you eat eggs and then it blows you up you get inflamed joints? Do you eat dairy and you're like, oh my gosh, my stomach hurts and I feel nauseous? And I mean, you just kind of have to remove these offending foods. It's called elimination provocation. That's what it's called. You take it out, put it back in. So let's try that. I have endometriosis with chronic pain at 20. Any ideas? Birth control isn't working. Okay. Endometriosis, we almost always have an inflammation component to this. So I want you to think about, and it can be autoimmune, this endometriosis, right? So I want you to think about steadying your blood sugar. I want you to eat more paleo. I want you to have more proteins and fats and veggies that live above the ground in your diet and really steady your blood sugar. Maybe use a Lingo or a Stello blood sugar monitor and watch, can we get this to calm down a little bit? I wouldn't mind you getting on the SPM fish oils, right? Fish oils, there's specialized pro-resolving mediators that help to resolve inflammation. So that would be a really great strategy for you. Getting on vitamin D, 5,000 IUs every day would be great. And we have to make sure that you don't have PCOS. We have to make sure that your blood sugar is not spiking and crashing and your testosterone is not high, because that will also drive endometriosis. Okay. We should check and see if you have leaky gut. Those are things to check it out. And so getting off of gluten, it's hard. It's hard getting off of gluten, right? So, so we've got like gluten. Let me tell you about gluten and dairy. Okay. So gluten and dairy, the proteins, when you pull them apart like an amino acid chain, they look a lot like the tissue in our body. So we can have the immune system can be attacking our tissue, and then you eat gluten and dairy and it goes, wait a second, I'm going to attack that too. And it's going to drive up the attack of your own body. So that's something that it drives the autoimmune response. It drives the immune system a little bit crazy. So April says, I have autoimmune lupus, MCAS, and CREST, stage 4 breast cancer, and on immunotherapy and chemo. Okay. There's a lot going on there. So things you can do right now that I would say would be really helpful and would not interfere with the therapies that you're having. Get on vitamin D. Okay. You can get on vitamin D, get on 5,000 IUs every single day. That's going to help your immune system to chill out a little bit. Okay. Your immune system is overacting. Let's get on an immune system modulator. Calms your immune system down. That's going to be a safe thing to do. Now, if you are with your food, I want to make sure that you eat protein, April, like it's your job. I want you to have protein at each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you can tolerate eggs, do them. You can eat, any kind of protein. I don't care if it's beef. I don't care if it's pork or chicken or shrimp, or it doesn't matter. Any of the fish. Just, I want you to have protein in each meal because I want your blood sugar to get super, super steady. Because oftentimes, if we have cancers growing, we want to feed them less, right? Some of my patients will get on a ketogenic diet while they're in therapy for cancer, and it can be very helpful, right? We just don't want to be spiking your blood sugar right now. It's not a good idea. So we also have, okay. Oh, violence-based trauma and presented as appendicitis. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes. Lots of that, right? Lots of stress. High stress, high cortisol can trigger autoimmunity. It really can. You have a high cortisol response. You can get a leaky gut from that. Then all of a sudden you have food proteins that are going straight into your bloodstream from your gut. They're not stopping them, and it can drive your immune system crazy. So that's a real thing. So high stress can be a big deal. Okay, I got all sorts of questions here. I'm just going to try to get to some here. Your blood sugar is fine. Okay, good. So, okay, what else do we have? Okay, Sandra says, I have a high TPO and anti-thyroglobulin, but TSH, T3, and T4 are normal. Okay, just got back a positive A&A homogeneous. Okay, so you have some autoimmunity rolling here, Sandra. So we've got an immune system. This is an immune system problem. Okay, so the immune system is overacting and attacking you. So your thyroid, though, has not been attacked enough to actually have a diminishing function yet. Amazing. We love that. That's what we like. So we want to calm the immune system down. Now, things you want to think about. You want to think about getting off of gluten and dairy. See if that makes you feel better. Okay. You also want to think about getting on 200 micrograms a day of selenium. That can help to calm down the thyroid peroxidase or the swelling at your thyroid. Okay. I want you to be on 5,000 IUs of vitamin D for sure. Now, you've got a positive ANA homogeneous. We don't know what that's going towards. So I want you to get an ENA panel so that you can make sure you're not developing lupus. We want to just gather all the data, right? Now, I want you to also think about, you need a lot of information. So if you feel like you want some support to move through this and try to calm all this down, go on the link of my bio and just click on it, and it'll pop you into, do you want to join the Autoimmune Shift program? Everybody in there has autoimmunity. Everybody does. We're all working on it. We're working on strategizing, brainstorming, figuring out things. There's resources, there's links in there. You click and you can get supplements if you need them, get tests if you need them. Ask me questions on Friday. I'm in there. There's a bunch of videos you can watch. Sandra, I would implore you to get more data and get some support, because You've got Hashimoto's rolling. You've got a positive ANA. So you're really rocking on your autoimmunity right now. And when you have one autoimmune condition, it's very easy to develop a second one or a third one. So we just want your immune system to just chill out. Something's driving it. So do you have leaky gut? Are you getting chemical exposure? Are plastics driving you crazy? I don't know. We got to figure this out, right? Sometimes you can have chemical exposure from just things that we put on our skin, like lotions and sunscreens and things like that, toothpastes and shampoos and stuff. I want you guys to get the Yuka app, YUKA, and it's an app on your phone. Go around your house and scan all the things. Your dishwasher detergent, your laundry detergent, your facial creams, your toothpaste, everything. And it has cancer ratings on there and chemical ratings, right? 0 to 100. 100 is perfect. 0 is crap. So if you have some zeros, you have some stuff that's sub 50, we got to get rid of it because those can be triggering your immune system and it can make your autoimmunity worse. So that's something that we have to really think about, okay? So lots of things to figure out. Leslie, you have endometriosis and a histamine intolerance. Got it. So we need to think about histamine. I mean, you can always go on a low histamine diet. That's helpful. I don't know if you're on antihistamines or not. You can do those. You can look up kind of a list of like the H1 and H2. I have a little list of those right here. Let me kind of tell you. So you want an H1 mast cell stabilizer, which is going to be like a Zyrtec or an Allegra. And then you want to do an H2 with this like famotidine is an H2. That's helpful. We also want to think about doing quercetin or luteolin. They're both mast cell stabilizers. You want to think about if you can tolerate it. I'd love for you to be on a methylated B complex or methylated B12, methylated methylfolate. That helps to degrade histamine. Lots and lots. There's lots to think about. If you get a medication, you could get on cromolyn sodium. That's helpful for a mast cell stabilizer. You can get on LDN. These are all prescription. You can get on ketotifen is also one that you can do. But those are because your histamine intolerance is probably driving your endometriosis crazy. They're probably driving each other. Sandra, should they test further or chalk it up to Hashimoto's? I would test a little further because if you have a homogeneous ANA, it could move into lupus, but we don't know what it's doing. It could move into Sjogren's. It could move into just mixed connective tissue issues, right, where your joints are hurting. I don't know. I would do more testing. I would do an ANA cascade, or I would do an ENA panel to gather a little bit more information. And then you have all the data that you need. And now we need to understand, what are you going to do about it? Do you have leaky gut? We need to figure out your food triggers, get you on some vitamin D. We get you on some glutathione. Glutathione's an immune system modulator. Don't get on that if you have cancer. Not going to be something that I want you to do. But yeah, these are things you got to get on selenium to calm down your thyroid. So there's lots of like in the weeds things we can do. That's why I made a whole program for this, just because it's like, there's so much to tell you. Black cumin seed oil is an anti-inflammatory that's really specifically helping people with Hashimoto's. So that's helpful. Okay, Leslie, taking an antihistamine has helped my symptoms a lot. Okay, now I want you to think about other things, like get on a methylated B complex. That might be helpful too. It helps you to process the histamine, okay? You want to think about maybe getting on some quercetin, Quercetin, quercetin. You can get on 2,000 milligrams of that, and that can stabilize mast cells too. Sometimes people with mast cell issues also have, are you hypermobile? Do you have Ehlers-Danlos or anything? Do you have flexible joints? Do you have like stretchy skin and flexibility? You can have sort of this flexibility to your collagen, and that can make the mast cells come up a little bit more readily too. So that's something to know about, right? Okay. Lisa says, I'm 60. I've acquired eczema on my eyelids. It's a miserable experience. Any tips? I would get off of gluten and dairy. Just do it for like a month and see how it makes you feel. See if you notice that your eyelid eczema goes away. It might be one of those things. It might be both of those things. I would also get on vitamin D because it's a little bit of a calm the immune system down. So that might be helpful. Okay. New blood pressure med is interfering with my thyroid meds, raising to 154/88. That is really interesting. Yeah, that's tricky, isn't it? Because we can't have you have super high blood pressure because it's damaging to your blood vessels. So that's like a fire hose in the, in your blood vessels. So we can't have fat. So that's going to be a real curious thing. We got to get you on a completely different blood pressure medication to like, it needs to be a completely different mechanism on lowering your blood pressure. Okay. GF diet, 10 years, perfect diet, bodybuilder. It can't possibly be Crohn's. You know what it could also be? You could be having there's a lot of things it could be if you have gut issues. You know what I would think about? I would think about even doing like a GI map test to just see like, do you have any overgrowth of bad bacteria in your gut that you don't know about? And is it taking hold and is it creating a small inflammatory response in that spot in your gut? That's possible. Do you have a little bit of undergrowth of good bacteria? Possibly. How are you digesting your food? I'd dig into that rabbit hole a little bit to see what you can find out. Yeah. Because that doesn't seem like the right answer, possibly, right? Okay. Jack says, at Leslie, I have SLE and take antihistamines and acid reducer. It helps also PCOS. Okay. Yes. Coffee is life. What can cause head, eye pressure, balance problems, memory problems? It can be a lot of different things. It could be autoimmune. I mean, do you eat gluten and does it make your head worse? Here's what I would do. Coffee is life. I would get myself on just a little strict diet for a couple weeks, like an autoimmune paleo diet, maybe just meats and vegetables, something super basic, right? Where you take out grains, you take out dairy, gluten, you take out nuts and seeds, lectins, you take out nightshades, just take it all out. And then just do something super basic and see if it makes your symptoms go away. If you feel better, then you just slowly put different types of foods in and see what triggers it for you. Because what we want to do is try to understand what's triggering it. Almond milk is not considered dairy, correct? So we're talking about anything dairy, and it's cow dairy is the biggest problem, but sheep and goat also are second and third. They're all kind of in there. So I'd say oat milk and almond milk, coconut milk. I had a pistachio milk the other day. It's pretty good. So any kind of nut milks are helpful. Yeah, are all dairy free. Okay. My mother was diagnosed with MS in her 50s. No other members have it. I'm 30. How likely could I get it? It's hard to say for sure, right? Do you have any symptoms right now? If you have no symptoms, MS is autoimmune. So we want to dig in that arena. Okay. So we want to think about, I would do an ANA test on you, an ANA cascade. I would also test you for Hashimoto's and I would test you for rheumatoid arthritis. These are just easy things to test on Quest, right? Just screening for autoimmunity, right? Now, there's also a really interesting test you can run, a couple different things I'm thinking with that. You could run a test called AVISE, AVISE, and see if you have autoimmunity in general, right? They have a really good detailed autoimmune panel. But MS isn't always going to show up on that. MS shows up like you have symptoms and they do a brain scan and a spinal cord scan and they see it. They see like little lesions, right? So what I would do is actually I would do a test through a company called Cyrex. Cyrex has a panel that looks at all the autoimmunity that if you have any antibodies toward any part of your body, and they're going to look at brain, they're going to look at nerves, they're going to look at the myelin sheath, they're going to look at they're going to look at the thyroid and joint tissues. I mean, it's a very, very intensive test. It's maybe $400 to run. Is it $450? I don't know. It's something like that. If you wanted to run it, I can always send you a link to do it. I'd probably do a screen to see because your body should not be making antibodies toward any kind of tissue in your own body. That's called autoimmunity. Your immune system is like, hey, I'm going to attack my thyroid. Like, why? So if you did a panel like that through Cyrex and all of it was negative because it has nerve and spinal cord antibodies, then I would say you don't have anything rolling, which is great, right? So you just want to find out. Cyrex is Cyrex. Cyrex. So what else? So many good questions. Oh my God, you guys are crushing it today. Okay. I have old breast implants, and I feel like that's causing my SLE. Oh my God, Jax, you could be absolutely correct on that. Absolutely correct. I just was listening to a whole seminar this past weekend about breast implant illness. And they're saying that it's not like just when like the implant opens or breaks, it's like what the outside is kind of woven in with. And your immune system can react to that that lining from day one when you get exposed to that. I wonder how you would feel about taking those out. It's tricky, right? But I bet you could be absolutely right. Yeah. Yuka app. Yes. YUKA. Yep. That's what it is. Okay. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and lupus before I turned 30. Oh, Jordan, you are really rocking along here, aren't you? Yeah, it's absolutely a struggle. If you want some support, you should come over to my support group. We can help you. I can absolutely help you. Learn about all the things that could be triggering you, learn about different supplements that could stabilize you, get links for if you want to get some testing done. If you want to be in a support group, it's on Fridays. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm in there just answering questions, doing Q&As. It's just with autoimmune people. It's a membership. It's $50 a month for the membership. I just want everyone to be able to afford to be in it for as long as you want support. You should come over. We can help you figure this out, how to stabilize you. I've got people with full-blown crazy lupus in there. I've got rheumatoid arthritis. We've got Hashimoto's. We've got all the things. And it'd be nice for you to have a community of people that you could like talk to and figure out how to move forward. Because there's a lot of good strategies to calm this down. So M is Crohn's, treating with a biologic, but also trying to heal the leaky gut side of things and get off the steroid. Got it. Okay. So I would put you on something like called RepairVite. There's 2 of them. It's by a company called Apex. And they have a RepairVite and RepairVite SE. And RepairVite has glutamine, aloe vera, diglycoside licorice, marshmallow root, slippery elm, all the ooey gooey stuff that helps to soothe the gut. The RepairVite SE has some glutamine in it, but it also has zinc carnosine in it. And those 2 are lovely for healing the leaky gut and quieting all this down. And then there's other strategies, but that's where I would start with you. Just getting you going on some repairing things. They're powders. You just drink them down and they will make your gut feel better. And then we can dig into like what's triggering your Crohn's, right? So let me know if you need some help. If you want supplement links, just send me a DM and just put your name and your email and I can just shoot it off tonight. We're like watching the morning show right now. So I'm just like, watching a show and doing things. So let me know if I can help you with getting that ordered. If you want to join us on my autoimmune support group, it's I'm taking just kind of some founding members right now. I think I've got 9 people in the group right now. It's super fun. So if you want to pop over, it's super fun to kind of just meet you in person and see your face and it's on Zoom. That'd be really fun. So let me know. Claudia says, I tested negative on all autoimmune diseases, but I have a lot of symptoms and inflammation is high. Okay. How's your blood sugar, Claudia? Is your blood sugar spiking? Are you pre-diabetic at all? I wonder if that's driving inflammation for you. Something is. You could have a chronic infection. I mean, do you feel sick? Like, when you have like mono when you were like a teenager and your lymph nodes get swollen and you just feel super exhausted, sore throat, things like that. You could have a chronic virus hanging out. You could have chronic strep hanging out in your tonsils. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can cause inflammation, but blood sugar infections are number 1, number 2, autoimmune, number 3. Sometimes they're all braided together, right? So we got to figure that out. Okay. Breezy Bree says, scared to go on an IL-23 blocker that blocks T helpers, and they won't rule out cancer. Right. Okay. So, this is tricky, right? Like I have a couple patients who've had such severe lupus and rheumatoid arthritis that was like extremely disabling and they couldn't function. And they got on a bigger, heavier medication, kind of like these IL-23 blockers. And it's been a game changer for 2 of them. Like they've been like, I don't have any pain anymore and I feel great because they're actually blocking, they're blocking the T cells. They're making it so that they don't do this destructive thing. I mean, it's like you want to put a Band-Aid on it and quiet it down, but then we have to still dig and figure out what do we think the root cause is on this and what should we do with food and what supplements can help. We want to braid in functional medicine strategies into traditional medicine because we want to make traditional medicine work better. Or maybe it works well on its own. It's hard to say, but like I feel like I would keep pushing, but let's have you get educated in functional medicine too, right? We need different strategies. You need lots of strategies. I mean, I work with a couple of rheumatologists and they're like, please help us. We do not have the time to tell all the patients all the things. We can't consult with them about their diet. We don't exactly know what's going on. We'd only have so much time. So if you could braid in all these things with us, and then we can do the biologics or the medications, it's super helpful. So we need really just support. You guys need some support with some functional medicine things that make sense, because some things work great for one person and it doesn't work for the other person. It's what's hard about functional medicine. It's like a thumbprint, right? It's really different for every person. So we have to kind of figure out what works for you. That's why some things don't work for other people, right? It's oh, and Lisa says, "Oh, I've been off of gluten. I will cut out dairy." I know, crying face. Like, you know what I want you to try? I just want you to try to get off of dairy for a little while and see how it makes you feel. Maybe you get off for a few weeks and you put it back in and see how it makes you feel. Okay. Okay. Do you have Hashimoto's if you have an ANA 1280 and a TPO that's 468, but TSH and T4 is still normal? Yes, you have Hashimoto's. Yes. TPO is 468. Yeah. TPO should be like under 9. You have Hashimoto's. Now, it doesn't mean that now the ANA, if it's speckled, that could also mean Hashimoto's. If it's a different pattern, maybe it's not, right? So things to think about. What the kind of test is to test your gut? You can do a GI map test. Easy to send you a link to order that if you want it. So that's something that you could always do. You could test leaky gut with Cyrex. Cyrex is the gold standard leaky gut panel. It's a blood test, and you want to see if you have zonulin or occludin or zonulin in your bloodstream, or if you have something called LPS, which means that you have overgrowth of bad bacteria causing leaky gut. So these are things to know. You can do that too. So Beach Babe, which question did you have? Pop it in there again. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like all over the place right now with these questions. Okay. What else? Charmed says, I have multi-organ sarcoidosis and Churg-Strauss syndrome and complicated by eosinophilic asthma and IgG. Okay. Can you get off of gluten and dairy? Eosinophilic asthma is often caused by gluten and dairy. Do you have eosinophilic esophagitis too? Like the throat gets a little closed when when you're trying to swallow things, things get kind of trapped and stuck. You could really be triggered by gluten and dairy. That could be a big deal for you. So give it a run. See what you think. So many good questions. Oh my gosh, Mike just fell off a ladder. 32, 7 scans, 37 stable, still bleeding. It's been 2 months, radiation, scared, help. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Everybody's like, oh my goodness, so many things going on with people. Dan lost 50 pounds at 27 with deficit and working out. Only thing off is 1085 LDL. 105 LDL is pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Like, I know that they want the LDL to be under 100, but 105, listen, I'd call it good. Nice job on working out and losing weight. That's great. That's awesome. Probably you cut out some carbs or just working out or whatever. Yes. So Charmed, it's Cyrex, Cyrex. And the test, which test are we talking about? The test called GI map test, maybe? Or we were talking about an ANA cascade. We're talking about Cyrex autoimmune panels. We got a lot going on here. Can lupus go into remission in early 20s? I'm currently taking methotrexate and Plaquenil. So yeah, so what we're looking at is lupus those markers can get quieter when you're on some medications. Yes, they can. Other things we should think about: getting you off on vitamin D, getting you on glutathione. Okay, that's an antioxidant in our body, and it's an autoimmune, it's immune system modulator. So these are important things to think about too. We want to braid in some other things. We want to think about food triggers. We want to get your blood sugar steady. We want to make sure that you're not getting exposed to plastics every day or chemicals or things like that. And okay, so many things. The support group. Do we have access to the learning resources at the course at any time to watch? Yeah, absolutely. So Kirsty, if you are on if you're in the support group, you have access to a bunch of videos and you can watch them as much as you want, as many times as you want. You have access to resources or supplements, or if you're in the UK, I might not be able to send you links for getting your testing done, but I can tell you what to test. And yeah, I don't know, it would be 11 a.m. on Friday. So are you guys about 8 hours ahead of us? So it'd probably be Friday dinnery evening time is when it would be, because it's 11 a.m. Pacific is the time that we meet. Okay. Okay. Lots of muscle weakness and fatigue, says Claudia. So let's think about this. So if you have a lot of muscle weakness and fatigue, remember you're not being able to generate enough energy to even resolve your inflammation. You've got to generate energy. So sometimes what I'll do with patients right away, we'll get them on vitamin D. I'll get them off a couple of food triggers. We might put you on like the SPM fish oils. That's helpful for inflammation. But I'll also put you on something called NMN, which is it is a precursor for NAD plus. So my son, I think, is coming in. Yeah, I think they're like looking for dinner. So NMN makes NAD plus, and that generates energy in your mitochondria in your cells, and it can give you more energy while we figure this out, right? We can get on while we balance your blood sugar, while we figure out if you have leaky gut, while we figure out like what's draining your energy, right? That's what we got to figure out. Okay. Can you send, if you want a link for anything, just can you send me a DM in TikTok and just put your name, first and last name, and just your email, and I'll just pop on Fullscript and just send it to you, whatever you want. Just tell me what you want, and I can send you links for supplements. I can send you links for testing, anything in the world that you want. Easy peasy. Okay. Yes. So you don't do dairy. You can try cutting out gluten. Yeah. Not a bad idea, right? Not a bad idea to cut out gluten and see how it makes you feel. So yeah, you guys, there's just so many strategies. I just want you to know all the strategies so that you know how to manage this better and really calm your immune system down. Just being on vitamin D, 5,000 IUs is a really important thing. I want your vitamin D in your lab work to be 70, 80, 90. I don't want it to be 30. The range is 30 to 100. And I want you to be in that upper range because you need extra vitamin D to calm your immune system down. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to hop off here. I'll be back on Thursday because I got to make dinner. I've got all these people figuring out like, when's dinner? Can I ask, because I started glutathione, can it make you dizzy? Can it? No, I don't think so. Just give yourself half a dose. Okay. Give yourself a little bit. Don't go too crazy. Move up slowly on glutathione. It also pushes a detox pathway in your liver. So you don't want to be detoxing too quickly and it can make you feel a little weird. Just a little bit, Kirsty. Don't go too crazy. Okay. So if you guys want any links for supplements, if you want any links to labs, let me know. Send me a DM. If you want to join my autoimmune support group, come over. Yeah, come over. I mean, it's $50 a month and it's tons of resource and it's all the things that you need. Links to supplements. I give you discounts on supplements, and I'm on an autoimmune support group on Fridays at 11. So if you want access to me in Q&A and we can help figure things out, easy peasy. Come on over. It's in my bio. Just click on my bio and it says the autoimmune shift. We're shifting your health, right? That's called the autoimmune shift. So one other quick question, will zinc help my digestion issues? You need to be on zinc carnosine. Zinc carnosine can help heal an inflamed gut. So try that, but not traditional zinc. It can be hard on your stomach. Things to think about. Okay. All right, you guys, thanks for popping on. You guys are the best. I'm so glad that you popped on. If you guys have questions, you can always DM me. I don't always get into my comments on my videos because there's just so many. It's so crazy, but I do try to get to my DMs. So if you have questions or if you want to figure out directions to go, or if you want to connect on a one-on-one, let me know. I'm happy to help. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you so soon.